Hi my friend, it's Pat Sloan here. Today we're just going to concentrate on the old school block of the month for September. My wonderful friend Yvonne Fouche of the Quilting Jet Girl. She is amazing. She has developed a block with lots of different ways that you can do it. So she has this very extensive tutorial for you so that you can try maybe making the block a way that you haven't made it before or a way that you've always wanted to try it. One of the things about the old school block of the month is that when Kim Lapacek invited all of us, she said, if you have a technique that you love doing or one that's something maybe that you haven't shared in a long time that you want to show people, that's what you'll do. And you can see like a lot of the blocks that we've done for the month have fun techniques, interesting techniques, maybe things you haven't done before. They may stretch you. You may have to be on your A game when you are making the block. So here is Yvonne's block. It's the cathedral window and is absolutely gorgeous. At my website I have some other photos, and her pattern and her blog are other photos of ones that she has done. This is mine that will go into my old school. Yes, so I need to do another churn dash because I am going to do more than 12 churn dashes, so I need to get another churn dash made. You can see the picture of that over at my website when you click over to get the link to go download this. And I want to start this with not only a donut, this is for my crew, the morning crew who visits me every morning when these release. We share donuts, and this is an apple cider donut. No, I didn't make it, I bought it. I think I'm going to go on a quest to see how many apple cider donuts I can discover in my area. The other thing I think you need today is definitely when I said be on your A game, be on your A game, and maybe you need your unicorn pins, right? Everything is better when you pin it with a unicorn. You just get magic vibes. Okay, so I'm going to step you through some of the points that I find important on making this and a few little tips, one of them being how I use freezer paper to do the template. Okay, let's go. The freezer paper is a great way to create a template that's a little bit firmer, that you're not going to be using a whole lot. So if you don't have any acrylic templates or purchased rulers that can do this block, the cathedral window, you can use the freezer paper to make your printout a little bit firmer, which I think is making it a little bit easier to handle. So I just want to show you how easy it is to pull it out. I know in some countries, at least at one point, you didn't have this stuff called freezer paper. It's not wax paper. That's totally different. So freezer paper, when you put the shiny side, can you see that? Yeah, you can see that shiny. You put those shiny sides together, it can adhere. So like people adhere it to fabric for cutting, for using as applique templates or even machine quilting templates. But we're just going to fold it in half. So we're just going to take this. I took a sheet of it off, and I want to fold it in half. So it'll be about the size of that piece of 8.5 by 11 paper. I just did a crease. Because it's rolled, it tends to want to roll up on itself. So I've just got to iron. You don't want to iron the shiny part. You just want to go up to the edge. You pretty much just warm that up. And be careful you're not ironing it to your pad. Like I can see the shadow. I'm going to trim this then anyways. Templates are going to be on there. So here is, it's kind of folded and stuck to itself, and I want to press out. I'm going to sort of press it so it's a little bit smoother on one of the sides. And now I will go and glue the paper onto here and then cut out the templates. So before you cut this out, just be sure, take your ruler and go on the 1-inch square and be sure that you printed it properly so that the templates are the correct size. Your 1-inch square should be 1 inch on your ruler. Now I have the freezer paper down here, and I will be just gluing this to the freezer paper. That way I've got a bit more firmness. Can you see how firm that is now? And because I'm not making a ton of these, this just gives me a little bit of extra besides the piece of paper, which, the papers are kind of floppy. So I will use any kind of a glue stick. I happen to have one for applique, and that'll hold it down long enough to do this. Now I don't really want to glue this whole piece of paper. That's kind of, wasteful and time consuming. So I will just cut this out, the shape out a little bit to get rid of some of this extra part, and then glue it down. So take my glue stick and just be sure I'm all along the edges of this. And actually I want to pretty much glue the whole thing. They're not that big, you're only doing 2 of them, and then that way I'm sure everything is glued out to the edge. Okay, so I will stick it down there and then let that sort of dry for a minute and do the other one, and then I'll just cut this out so that I have a firmer template to work with. To cut it, I'm going to take the ruler and do the 2 sides that are straight so that I know those are straight and everything is exactly how it should be. Go a little past there and get rid of this excess stuff. So now I have the curve. Oh, there's also the 2 little ends. So I want to do the little end, and I'm just going to get rid of that. And then over here, I have the other little end, and then just get rid of this. So now I want to just get all of that gone. So I only have this to work with. So these 2 sides and the ends are all cut with the ruler. And now I'm just going to carefully, you can do it with scissors, but I'm just going to carefully follow this template line and go around. So you just want to take your time and just go right on the line, and you're going to do the same for the other template, and there we go. Ta-da! Now it's time to pick the fabric, and we're kind of getting down to the wire with my layer cakes and being able to have larger size pieces. But because I also started with some of the fabrics with half-yard pieces, then I do have enough of those to be able to do this block. But I was not able to do anything with the layer cakes because of the size and the number of pieces needed, which is fine. That's fine, because I do have options from the other things. So the layer cakes, all the layer cake parts, so those can't be the options. So these are what I have for bigger size pieces, and I need 3 colors. I need the center, I need the melon part, and then I need the outer part. And I think because the center part, I'm going to do the version with the seams, so there'll be 4 seams. I would just not use this one, because or this one. I think these 3, any of these 3 would be great for the center, because the design is going to camouflage that seam. These 2, the seam would be more obvious. So they could be either melons or the background or not used, because I only need 3 fabrics. So I'm going to go, I think I'm going to go with the black on either the outside or the inside, outside, inside, outside, inside. That means the melons would be one of these 2. I could do a black melon, which would be really striking, or I could do the yellow melon. So, all right, which do I want? I think I like the gold. I think I'll do the gold melon, and that'll have enough contrast against this print so that you'll see it. The other thing I could do is I could do a black and gold. There's one other black and gold block in there, but this would be pretty dense color because there's quite a bit of that outside fabric. Or if I wanted to see the seam more obvious in the middle, we could do it like this. This could be the outside, this could be the inside, or I could go back over to this. Ooh, options, options, options. Okay, ring toss. I'm going to do these 3. Tip for being organized to make Yvonne's gorgeous block is to get your sizes cut first. Pick your 3 fabrics and then cut the squares before you go to the template. So you have the squares cut and then you go to the template. And I want to show you what I'm doing, and I did switch them up just a bit. Okay, I have got my outside. That is what this one will be. The outside is the black. And then the melon part, which will also be using this template, is the floral. And then I decided to use the gold. And yes, I said it won't, the seams won't blend in, but I decided to do something different. Do you see how the line is on the diagonal? So I am actually cutting these blocks on the diagonal so that I get the lines going like this. Let me show you how and that'll be using this template in the corner. So I'll have those all radiating out. Let me show you how I do that. This is a 5 3/4 inch block. So on my ruler, I'm going to take so I will be taking this line, the center line, and it will go along this drawn line that's on the fabric. And I want 5 3/4, so I know that is out here. So I want to be sure, like where they intersect, that down at this bottom I'm actually on the fabric, because over here on both sides I'm on the fabric, and if I'm not glancing down here to see, this is not, the corner of it has fallen off. So I need to shove it up so that I have the 5 3/4 will all be on the fabric, and I want to keep it lined up on that space. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut 2 sides, and then this will come away. I'll cut this side, so all of that now comes away. And then at this point I want to take in the corner the 5 3/4. So 5 3/4, 5 3/4, and that intersection will be in this corner where I know I'm keeping that diagonal, so I don't shift or do something that I lose the diagonal. Be sure you get everything up. Okay, open the rotary cutter, do 2 sides, and there I have it, the diagonal block. And when they end up in the middle, now I have to be careful as I'm working so that I'm sure that as I cut each one, I have this intersection that'll get like this starburst out from it. Isn't that cool? I am doing the pressing just like Yvonne's pattern, but I am taking one of these iron away markers, the Frixion, and then I'm making a little mark on all the pieces because I find that just a little bit easier for my eyes to see. So here it is sewn. Let me flip it over. There is the back side. This is done exactly like Yvonne said, with the pins and the pressing. This happens to be towards my dark. And now you want to trim this per her direction, so you have to trim this before you go to the next step. And then after that, we're going to be creating the outer edge with the black fabric, so that this becomes the melon, the floral. This will be matching up with the other 3 to have the 4 star, to have that center star. For making the outer portion of the cathedral star, we're back to using this concave shape, and Yvonne shows you on the picture that you want to have it where you're not banking it in a corner. You want the ends to both be right at the outside, so wherever that happens on your block, and then you will come along and you will trim away this curved piece, this like half circle, a quarter circle rather. So the quarter circle will go away for another use. And then now I have this piece here, which will mark and sew as she has, and it'll go onto the first unit that we built. And then there's the melon, and this is the inside part. And when you're going to be trimming now, each of these blocks trimmed to the size Yvonne has, the 6.5 inches square, you want to have it right at the 1/4 inch here, because as you'll see on the picture, these points meet to make that beautiful star point for the inside section. All right, my friend, this one is going to be wonderful. I can decide where to put it I don't want to, see, this is a fairly dark block here, so I probably want to balance it out. Maybe I'll put it up here because it's got the dark black background, and then maybe put this one down here. And then we still have 3 more, including mine, which is next month for October, and I'm going to show you a block that has a story behind it. So I can't wait. Here are all my blocks. There we go, up, up, up. So I love you. Mwah. See you online.